What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's good? What's good?
We get to talk about Superman.
Yes, we do.
And you know what? I feel like we actually have something really, really good to talk about with this Superman movie.
Yes, we do.
It is nice to be able to talk about DC with a smile on your face and makes me happy.
I'm happy for you, man.
Hey, folks, we are Grown A Geeks, and tonight's show is a spoiler conversation. We will be talking about Superman, the newest movie from James Gunn. Got a chance to see it last week. I think everybody's had a chance to see it. It's doing numbers. It's really good, and it's good that it's doing numbers just because that is a positive thing for comic book movies, and having a return to form for something like this, a good movie, I think is definitely a plus as we see how they're going to move forward with the DCU. James Gunn came in and brought a lot of the energy and vibes and silliness and goofiness that he presented with Guardians of the Galaxy, what he did in Suicide Squad. But I think the interesting thing, a lot of conversations that were had during the run of the DCEU was it just needed to be like Marvel. They needed to do what Marvel did. And it looks as though someone maybe did something similar to what Marvel did. And it may have worked out. So let's discuss. Let's talk about it. Joining me today, I've got Gun Him Down, RG Cashmere. Curious where we're going with that. My man Jeffrey JPNT 17, and of course I'm of the Geek Sam, Superman fan. I gotta ask RG. You know what? What is Gun Him Down? What? what?
You know, here's the thing, man. I figured, Jeff, you gotta get off mute, man. you can't see you move like that. Not hear it.
I'm muted because I'm currently like in a hotel room in Texas,
I understand.
and there's like a TV on in the background for other people who are here. So I didn't know if it was picking that noise up in the background. I didn't want to
No, not at all.
of the show. Okay,
No,
not at all. You're good.
Then never mind.
Okay,
yeah,
we're good.
Yeah, you know something? Here's the thing. He made a movie. He made a movie. He made a James Gunn movie.
Okay.
But is this the lift up the DCEU needed?
Well, the DCU.
Sorry. The DCU. Sorry,
not
DCU.
Not the DCEU.
God, my bad. I've got to separate the two. They're hard to separate. There's a lot of things DC's been trying to do over the years. I'm not really sure if I understand it. So, yeah, he made a movie. Was it an entertaining movie? Was it a DC Superman movie? I guess that remains to be seen, right?
I would say the box office numbers right now and the general reception to the movie indicates a lot of people would say yes. I am one of them. And I think I was one of the few people who was actually able to enjoy what Zack Snyder put out. And Jeff actually tagged me the other day. I don't know if it was on Twitter, if it was on Facebook, it was something, but it was a post. And the guy that does all the videos of like anime in real life, and he does all these little fights. He has like the security guard outfit, and I cannot think of his. Anyway, they were doing their podcast, and we've got another guest joining us here. We've got Miss Teresa, How to Be TK. What's going on, Teresa? And we are just getting all the love tonight. We've got another guest joining us. We got Miss Brandy. Insert cool nickname. So
it's a party.
It's a party now. It's a party. But no, Jeff tagged me in this video, and there was a conversation where it was like, if reading comics is a prerequisite for understanding the movie, then it's a bad film. And it took me a very long time to understand that concept. When you say it out loud, just saying it, it's like, well, I mean, no, I mean, like, you're doing these movies, they're based on comic books, so there would be nothing wrong with having the comics be the prerequisite, or, but the argument was that the film should be able to stand on its own. And that was one of the earliest conversations Jeff and I had, was just, if I need to read this comic book in order to understand this context on screen, then the movie has not done a good enough job explaining what's there. And I, of course, have always been able to fill in the blanks, fill in the gaps. And because of the comic knowledge, because of all of the TV shows, all of the movies, just everything that I've consumed on these various pieces of media, when we get into these comic book films, it's like, oh yeah, that means this. Oh, that's because of this. Oh, that's because. Sometimes it's fine when it's a little nod or an Easter egg, or if they're just referencing something. But if you actually need to read that comic to understand that statement in the movie, then it becomes a Chekhov's gun. You've now mentioned something that's not explained on film. As we are looking at this Superman film, I can see the references to everything. I can clearly pick out spots from all of the different comics. But this movie was a complete story beginning to end. And I think, love it or hate it, James Gunn put together a very solid story of a positive Superman. And I think it's a fantastic film. I think this is perhaps one of the best. If I'm being 100% honest, I think this might be the best depiction of Superman on film. Even understanding that Christopher Reeve is the original Richard Donner cut of the film, you know what I'm saying? It's like the nostalgia takes over a lot for that film. But if I try to sit and watch that movie now, it is dated. And so it's not fair to compare the original Superman to this movie, where we have much better CGI and the special effects are way more improved and things like that. So Superman, the movie, 1978, is always going to hold a special place for what it did. Just like the original Spider-Man movie is always going to hold a place for what it did. But by the time we get to now, I need a movie worthy of what we have available today. And I think Superman delivered. I don't want to soak up all the real estate on tonight's conversation. I'm going to pass the mic and let others speak. RG, we'll come to you in a bit because you seem like you might have an opportunity to hate tonight. So I'm going to give you your room. Teresa, I'm going to kick it over to you real quick because I got a chance to go and see it Monday before it came out at a exclusive Warner Brothers screening. I'm just feeling so special that I know somebody like Teresa who was able to put me in touch with people that got me tickets to go see it on a Monday. Like that was really cool. And we had a great theater. We saw it in IMAX. We had the right crowd, and it was a fantastic experience in my opinion. But Teresa, you got a chance to see it again after that, or you went to see it again after that. And I just want to say, like, I actually have a screenshot of a Facebook post where you said you were looking forward to going to see it a second time. So if you would,
yeah, because somebody wasn't impressed by the trailer.
He's trying to stack the dick early.
I ain't calling no names.
Now she has said if it was good, so I want to see what she thinks now that she's had an opportunity to see it twice.
Yeah, my computer's freaking out. I'm trying to stop it, but it won't stop. Okay. I was not impressed by the trailers, but I think that's a good thing. You know, I think that Gunn was able to like dupe me. And I appreciate that because a lot of times, you know, you see trailers and you get so hype and, you know, you see half the movie in the trailers.
Yes.
These trailers didn't deter me from wanting to see the movie, but they didn't, you know, I wasn't excited about it. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, the movie's going to be so good. To be honest, the trailer with Krypto in it, I was like, oh my God, this is terrible CGI. This herky-jerky looking, you know, crazy looking thing, beast, whatever. And then that last trailer, you know, they gave us I don't remember his name, the green monster thing. And, you know, everybody's like, why do they show us the bad guy? He's giving everything away. He didn't give anything away with the trailers, honestly.
No, true.
The movie was so much better than the trailers.
It was.
I told y'all, I mean, if you know me, you know that I'm not, I mean, if it's a superhero, I'm going to see the movie. Unless it's a superhero comedy, then I can't. But if it's a superhero, I'm going to see the movie. But DC has done us dirty for a while. So I don't get as excited about the DC movies as I do about the Marvel movies. So I was going to see it anyway, but I did not have high expectations. He completely blew me out of the water with the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was my kind of a superhero movie. It reminded me of MCU movies. It was dramatic until it needed a little humor to lighten the mood. And we got that. It wasn't a comedy. It was definitely a drama, but there was lots of good comedy in it to lighten it up. I really think he did a great job. I honestly didn't want him to. I wanted, you know, I kind of wanted some of the old dark DC mess so that I could diss it. We didn't get that. We got a good movie. I can't talk down about it because it was, you know, it was a good movie.
I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate, because some people aren't willing to admit that's how they were going into the movie. And it's been interesting to just, you know, see some of the other reactions online. And I've just been watching it. It was like, okay, well.
I mean, honestly, you know, I wasn't really impressed by any of the buildup. I had never heard of any of the people in the movie before, you know, major roles. Had no idea who David Cornsweet was. I hadn't seen him in anything before. The Lois Lane lady, Rachel, so I didn't know who she was. I knew Philly.
You don't watch Miss Maisel?
I was about to say I didn't know I knew she was that.
I'm just kidding.
You knew Lex too because he was in X-Men.
I knew Lex. I did know Lex and Mr. Terrific. Although I knew his name, I had never seen him in anything. Well, I had Twilight like 300 years ago, but you know, nothing recent. So I honestly wasn't expecting much. David Cornsweet did a great job. I think he did the legacy of Christopher Reeve justice. And I'm not discounting the Supermen who came in between because I happen to have a huge crush on Brandon Routh. But I think
I always thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think he definitely did the legacy of Christopher Reeve justice. Fillion He played a wonderful asshole. Um,
Yeah.
Jimmy did a great job. Wendell Pierce. It it was really a good movie. I will probably see it again. Actually, it was
Yeah.
that good. I went out and stayed up past my bedtime to see
Mm,
it.
mm,
I
mm.
was out past midnight, like
Superman
a
had you
Ooh.
in the
grown up,
streets.
On the school
What?
night.
Okay.
and
What?
I stayed awake through the whole movie. So I'm still proud of myself. So yeah,
That's what's up.
Mm.
I'm giving it thumbs up all around.
All right. That is wonderful to hear. That's just good for DC. Not even good for me, but that's good for DC. So if they got your approval, I feel like we treading good water right now. Thank you for that review. That's very positive, and I look forward to seeing more if DC continues in this fashion. Would you be interested in where they're taking us?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I look forward to the future of DC. I hate that we got to wait a whole damn year before we get more.
Right. Me
Because
too.
this was really good, and it's like, damn, you need to strike while the iron hot, but guess you got to make the movie first. So okay, cool.
Fast food ain't good, and good food ain't fast.
Right. So like just we'll do it right. Jeff,
Yo,
haven't really heard any thoughts from you yet, and I'm
Mhm.
curious to know what were your thoughts on this James Gunn Superman?
so I went in definitely. I tried to go in and give this movie the most blank slate possible, which is difficult. Like, I understand the position that the movie is in. Not only is it kicking off a new universe, it's kicking it off on the back of a failed universe that is like polarizing. There's still people pining after that old universe, thinking that their tweets are going to resurrect it somehow. So this film had a difficult task. This actor had a difficult task. I've been thinking a lot about Teresa saying when we reviewed the trailer how this guy is not giving her Superman, and I understood what you were saying when you said that, Teresa, because I definitely got Clark Kent from like even the trailers, like just even him just towering above everybody, but his posture, the way he was moving, his hair, I was like, okay, I understand this. So I didn't go in arms folded, but they was ready to be folded.
We're like,
They was it wouldn't have taken much to get them to fold up. Um, I think that James Gunn did very well, especially for his first undertaking. I kind of was doing my best to think less about where I am now and think about how I felt like when Iron Man came out, because that was what kicked off really the MCU. And no, that movie wasn't perfect, but it was fun, it was exciting, and it definitely set a tone that said, I'd see more of this. And I think if my feeling was if James Gunn was able to achieve that with this Superman, then he was successful. And I think that the movie was successful at what the main goals of it were. Um,
Mhm.
I enjoyed a lot of it. I think there was like a few tiny things here and there that like kind of took me out of it because I'm like, all right, we're doing a lot here. But overall, I think this is great casting. Like we talked a lot before about Superman and Lois and Clark's relationship, and even though we don't get the like she doesn't know because she already knows who Superman is, I'm less
Mhm.
bothered by it because this Lois Lane is so well written. The interview scene between her and Superman, I think, did a great job of setting the tone for who Lois is in this universe and kind
Mhm.
of establishing that she's not just a backseat character to this Superman, and she's not going to be a backseat character in this universe, which I think is important. Um, I think that also with Superman, the biggest thing, like I went back actually and watched our episode of Therapy, and just to remind me of like some of the issues that I had thought of before. And one of my big things has always been a lot of Superman stuff is not written by people who actually like Superman. They just like his power set, and they
Yeah.
end up getting the character and just being like, "I'ma just, I'ma just do what I would do if I had these powers."
Right.
And really, like this whole movie, I think that James Gunn did a great job of sticking to the core ethos of Superman's character on top of the power set. So it's like Superman doesn't care about politics. There are people who were going to die. He did what he had to do, cross enemy lines, whatever, cause whatever ruckus he had to cause. But yeah, that's because, in my understanding, Superman is not politically affiliated.
Right.
Ergo, he's just there to save people. And I think James Gunn did a great job of not changing the character to fit the times, but just saying this is who the character is, and this is how that character would respond to the current times. This is how the current times would respond to this character. And I feel like that is the smart way and the best way to play a character like Superman, who's been around for, at this point, damn near 100 years. So,
Yeah.
whereas I really did feel like,
Soon to be
and
in the public domain.
I wanted to do as little comparison as possible because I didn't want it to just be like, well, in the Snyderverse. But I'm on record saying that's one of the biggest issues with the Snyderverse is that they changed who Superman was to fit the times versus just
Absolutely.
dropping him in the times and saying this is how Superman would react. This is how the times would react to Superman and vice versa. I think James Gunn did a really, really good job of that, and I think he did a great job of setting a tone. I was also worried about the number of people in this movie, the number of characters, but he balanced it well. He gave us enough of everybody. He gave everybody a moment without it still stepping on Superman. It didn't feel long. I didn't feel like I was in the theater for all damn day. Like the only character I probably could have did a little less of was Crypto. But other than that, and I'm not an animal person. I'm not a dog person. So that's just me just being like, this isn't doing for me what it's doing for everybody else. But I heard the like chuckles and the gasps in the theater. So, for the dog lovers, there you go. Overall,
Right.
I enjoyed it though. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the universe continues to build around this. And yeah, that's where I am with it.
Okay. That's a positive view. And I can definitely understand trying to go in with that blank slate mentality. I can only say that I went in
Hopeful.
casually optimistic. That's as best as I can say, casually optimistic, because I was very aware that I was going to enjoy the movie on a certain level no matter what, because it is my favorite character back on screen.
Right.
And
And they didn't
there's
make a mockery of it like some people's favorite characters.
right. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, and with the whole thing being focused on the character, there were things that I was looking at, and even some of the concerns I have got addressed, and I agree that the balance with I won't even say the ensemble cast, because I'd read a comment somebody had, and I kind of look at their reviews of movies, and they were complaining that we didn't get enough of the other characters, and I honestly felt like they were all background characters, and maybe in other parts of the universe that's being created they can have a bigger role, but this was not their movie. I got just enough Steve Lombard for it to be Steve Lombard. He had no major role. He wasn't important in this movie, and he had like one good comic relief moment where he was on the ship and didn't actually have a seat. Past that, it's just, that's more of an Easter egg for people who have watched all of the different things with Superman and know that he's the sports writer guy. So things like that, I think the balance was there. The focus on the people who we needed to focus on was always in place, and I think they did a great job with that part of it. Brandy, what did you think of this
Okay,
movie?
so there's not a secret that I went into the movie really excited. I didn't see it
Yes.
until last night, so I was out of town, and it was just, and I was like, I gotta see it. I really want to see it. So, and but I didn't go in with super high like expectations, if that makes sense.
Right.
Gary, what up?
Like I wanted it to be good. I really wanted
Right.
to enjoy it,
I
but
said cautiously optimistic.
right. But it's also not a secret that I am a James Gunn fan. I've been a James Gunn fan since like Scooby Doo. Like I really like the way that he does ensembles. I think he's so good
Yeah.
at making you care about every single person present, and I felt that very much in this movie. Like
Yeah.
I cared about every character, and every character, even to kind of, I guess, piggyback off of you guys, where you're like, it's just enough of that character. It's not even just enough. He gave us the way he breadcrumbs people's stories without having to like put a big sign out and say this is what's going on.
Right.
Like we know Jimmy is somehow a ladies' man because we see the girls laughing and giggling. You know what I mean? So we got that established. Like Perry established his character. Every time they showed a person or a thing, even like the robots, it was like just enough to give you their personality. We got the groundwork, we can keep going, which I appreciate. I appreciate the where we were in the story. Everybody knows who Superman is already. Knows who he is. We don't have to go through all of that rigmarole. Like we can pop right into what's going on. Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor was the one thing that I was like, I don't know, because I've never seen him in that light.
Yeah.
And I think from the moment he pops up on the screen, I was like, yep, that's Lex. Like that is Lex. And I love the way he played him. I love the way he played everybody else. I love that he was a villain. He did not get redeemed. We did not get to hear about his abuse story. He was
Right.
just a terrible human being. And he knew he
He's a
was
hater.
terrible. He was like, no, right, no, I'm jealous is exactly why I'm doing this. I was like, finally, I get my villain. That's just a villain for villainy sake.
Yeah.
Um,
So why
I
y'all
love,
like him?
you said what?
Yeah.
He's just like, why y'all like him?
Right. Right.
Like
He's
he
not
think
better
he
than
bad,
me.
he can fly. You know what? I could fly too. If I wasn't from here, he's an alien. F that guy. Like, look at me.
Right.
I'm like, thank you, because I don't need my villains. That y'all know that's my gripe. Okay. That being said, you also know that I did not like the Zack Snyder, the
Jesse
previous.
Eisenberg.
I love Henry Cavill. I love him to death. It wasn't his fault, but that wasn't Superman to me. We've had this conversation. I'm not going to rehash. From the second I saw him, from the second they closed up on him and he was and he was wheezing and like all of that, I was like, no, yeah, absolutely. It just was instant click in my head. I didn't have to go through anything. I was like, this is Superman. And from that everything from when he first got out of the sun and he was like,
Yeah.
golly. And I was like, not the golly. Like, I just was like, oh my God, because this is
Yeah.
Superman, you know? I just really, but I also like that he wasn't a pushover. He was a nice, great guy, you know. But even when Lois was trying to play her little BS, he walked out. And I was like, you know what? Good for you. Like, I like that he had a
Right.
backbone. He wasn't just, because it could go either way sometimes, you know what I mean? And it's like, no, I'm a decent dude, but also you want that BS and I'm not for it. And I appreciated that. Like, I love Lois. I was like, this is Lois.
Right.
She's not a damsel. She's not, you know, like, I appreciate it. She felt very much like what was her name in the 70s version?
Margot.
Tenacious and like tough.
Margot
And like she
Kidder.
was just Margot Kidder. She was giving me Margot Kidder. You know, I love old girl, but it felt like I know it was cartoonish and it was bright and it was vivid, but I need that in Superman. The
Yeah.
Mr. Terrific fight scene when he grabbed the ball and floated over the dome with it, I was like, you better do it. Like everybody got their moment.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Even
Yes.
you just said Nathan Fillion when he was doing the middle fingers as he was. It was
Yeah.
just like everybody got their chance to shine. Hawk Girl when she dropped. Listen, I'm invested in all of these characters. I don't know anything
Yeah.
about these people. I've never seen Mr. Terrific a day in my life, but I love him and I need more of him. When he was like, I'm Mr. Terrific. Like, I don't need you to tell me that shit. Like, I don't need you to tell me how to do my shit, but I just move.
Help
I
me.
feel it.
Yeah.
I liked the ending. So I had a great time. As soon as it started and I heard the score, and then they did the old school Superman I was like, me and the lady next to me, we had a ball. She was like, I usually talk during the movies, but I was like, girl, it's a superhero movie. You better do all the things. Come on now.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh, and Supergirl. That's
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We'll see. But yeah, when somebody said he was desperate to get the dog back because he knew that if she had to get the dog back, things weren't gonna be so great.
It would be a problem. Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, give me the dog. This ain't for me. This is for you.
So look, I'm telling you, if you want to live, okay, let me be the one. Just do it now. Because if she come back, it's not what you want. You don't want them problems. You want these problems. Yeah, I can absolutely agree. And
the sidekicks. Sorry, last thing.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The sidekicks. Old girl with the hands with the body shifter. I don't really know too much about her or who that actress is. But listen, when she flipped and then her body shifted and she was right side up, I said, you know what? That's a bad mamma jamma. Don't play with her, please.
I was getting T-1000 vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you just like slammed into the wall and morphed and like turned like ooh. We hadn't seen villainy like that in a minute.
And the fight scenes were good, and they could have been. I was worried with the CGI because a lot was happening, like when they were in the river with the baby and all this. I was like, oh, that could get a little muddy, and I thought it went really well. Like I really don't have any hard critiques. I loved Ma and Pa Kent. I loved them. They made me a little tear up, like the little dad scene. I was like, you better be proud. Like,
yeah. And that was definitely a heartfelt moment. And I think one of the things that scene alone, I think is perhaps going to be the biggest contrast when people do make the comparison. I believe the scene on the farm is going to be the moment that comes up as the biggest contrast. Watching Clark talk with his father versus the last time Clark saw his father in the previous movie. Don't make that comparison.
No, that's what Clark's father.
Right, we put it like, yeah.
Don't save me, superhero son.
Right, and see, and that's one of the things that like, it's really funny because there's so many people who immediately became a Superman expert. They don't even like the character. They don't like Superman, but they were able to articulate that and how that was wrong. And that's not Superman. And he would never. And it's like, well, actually, you know, but it's like that's where you actually have to go and read those comics to get that kind of context. And so most people, and this is something we talked about on the therapy issue, most people who are familiar with Superman are probably thinking of the animated series that came out right after Batman, the Superman, the animated adventures. That's where most of the movie-going public today, that's going to be their reference point. That Superman, who was also the Justice League Superman and the Justice League Unlimited Superman. Those three animated versions, and then, of course, a lot of people for years have liked the DC animated universe. And so that is the Superman that people are familiar with. We know that I would say
probably less so his own cartoon and more just the Justice League, because nobody really watching that original cartoon.
True. I mean, it had a following, but it's not on par with Batman the Animated Series, which is the definitive like Batman. But Justice League Unlimited, and I think we got some of our best stories with Superman from Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, even more so than what we got in the animated Superman series. So I
definitely would agree with that.
So that's where most people are relating to it, and so a lot of the buzz that I've been hearing in regards to the movie review is like everybody's saying like, oh, it was just like, it's like watching the animated show. It's like, this movie was like the animated show. And I'm like, well, that's a good thing. Like, that's good because that means this is a character you recognize and you can identify. And people are going to find the things, and I'm setting this up perfectly for you to knock it out the park, RG, okay? People are going to find the things that they don't like and find a reason not to like it just because. For some people, in fairness, for those people, I have friends who have always hated the character of Superman because they don't like the character. Mm-hmm. They can admit a good story here, a good story there. They recognize those things. I am not a Batman fan. But I have Batman comics over here because he's got some great stories. And there are times where people have written him very well. And some people have even recognized some of the really well-written Superman stories. But as a general rule, he is corny, he is boring, big man punch hard. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, unless you get some of those really good stories where they dive into his humanity and who he is, he can actually be kind of boring. Fully aware, I recognize 100%. But when you pick the right story and you tell that thing, Superman is such a fantastic character. So, RG, tell me why you don't like this movie.
Yeah, for real. You know what I'm saying? Shit. God damn, give me a chance to warm my head up.
So just based on that, tell me why you don't like. But no, honestly, like, what are some of the things that well, first just tell me, like, what did you think of the movie?
So here's the thing. There's gonna be a lot of things I'm gonna say about the movie that technically will make it seem like I really, really, really like this movie. Right? Because I have few gripes with the movie technically. Okay. I think James Gunn did a great job with the ensemble cast. I think everybody acted their ass off and played the shit out of those characters. I think each of those characters as individuals fit into the story well. I don't necessarily feel like anybody needed any more screen time. I don't feel like we needed to explore any of the characters. I mean, everybody played their role, and sometimes in ensemble movies that are based off one main character, the movie should be about Superman. Green Lantern, even though we know who he is, we shouldn't get his backstory. We shouldn't get a whole lot about him. We shouldn't get a whole lot about Mr. Terrific. We shouldn't get a whole lot about Hawkgirl. I didn't expect that. I'm fine with that. I do love the way they did Lois. I like her as a serious journalist, and that she takes it seriously, and that she's not a damsel in distress in this movie. I did like that aspect of it. I love Lex's henchmen. Well, I do feel like, the Ultraman thing might have got used a little bit early, but again, I can see why they worked it in. Obviously, I'm doing I know who Ultraman is in the comics, or I know who he is in the animated story, and I have to take this alone as this is Ultraman, and this is the first introduction to Ultraman. So that's completely fine. And the way they worked him in is fine. The explanation behind him is fine. And that's the problem that I have with this movie kind of overall.
Perhaps my only gripe was Ultraman.
Well, I'm not even really really getting into my gripe that actually knocked 2 points off this movie for me. Not even yet. Because I think y'all know
we still going through the lights.
Oh my God. And it took you from a 10 to an 8? I need to know.
No, this shit took it from a 9 to a 7.
Ooh,
I wound
okay.
up giving this movie a 6 overall. Now, here's the reason why it's a 9. Because everything that I like about this movie is that this movie is just fine.
Yeah,
It's just fun. I enjoyed this movie the same way I enjoyed Starship Troopers. I think it's an entertaining movie. I think it's a very entertaining movie.
Okay.
But I think the movie's stupid as fuck. I think there's just too much. Look, Teresa, this movie gave me the foolishness. Okay? This movie gave me the foolishness. That fucking dog took a solid 2 points off of whatever I wanted to rate this movie. That fucking dog was in that movie way too much. It should have had him. I got him early in the movie. You established that the dog is fucking chaos. I get it. But Jesus Christ, man. Leave the fucking dog back at the fucking house. Just leave the dog at the house. Just stop involving the dog. Why does the dog always got to be around to save y'all and shit like that? It's fucking cartoonish. So that took a lot off of the movie for me. Was that damn dog? I gotta be honest. I hated that
you're
dog's
a cat
inclusion.
Person, so I feel like you're.
I like animals. No.
No, I think James Gunn banked on people liking dogs.
Yes,
a
little too much.
And some of us actually.
I told my wife that he was this dude. He put this dog in here this much for the white folks, because they love dogs. So, he was like, "You're gonna get a lot of dog. Who's gonna root against cute little white scruffy dog?" You know what I'm saying? So, okay, gave him the dog, but everything about the movie was fine.
For sure, but
yeah. But everything to me about the movie was fine. I think my overall liking of the movie was, this is fine. This is fine. But it just wasn't, I was not moved by a lot of the direction of where the movie went. I felt there was a lot more. First off, here's where the real hate comes in.
Okay.
Your man's still a douche look. He's still a douchey Superman. We still got this doucheball looking Superman. Sorry, but it didn't save him. I think he's a great actor. I think he played him great. I think he did a good job playing Superman. But looking at his face, I'm just kind of like, I'm glad he beat. I'm glad he beat you up. That was hate. Like, now I was on my Lex on that one. I was like, put my man in the box.
This is like, shut up.
For real. That was the other thing too. I don't like the Luthor. I don't like the Luthor either. I think the dude is a really good actor, but the thing about it is that I do not feel like. Again, it's just the appearance of him does not give off menacing. It gives off unhinged. He gives off petty. I was a bullied kid, and now I have all this money and I have all this power, and I'm able to do whatever I want with it. And I get you the ultimate petty Betty, and cool, no problem. That's Lex, right? From a technical aspect of how Lex Luthor is, or at least the way I envision Lex, did he act like Lex Luthor? Yeah, he acted like Lex Luthor. But I'm looking at him and I don't see Lex Luthor.
So give me an example. I'm curious as an example of
Smallville.
Lex Luthor.
I love
Michael
that dude in
Rosenbaum.
Smallville who played Lex Luthor. He had a look of Lex Luthor to him. Like, there was a seriousness about him and a sort of strength in his face, right? A lot of what I'm saying is pause as fuck. So let me just start right there. This Lex Luthor, the movie Lex Luthor, he looks like a kid. He just doesn't look menacing to me. He doesn't give off, I should be afraid of you. Because you're a powerful man. He doesn't give off powerful man. He just gives off rich nerd man.
He's not a powerful man yet, though. I think.
Well, I have to assume that he has government contracts. The government basically said you can take people and you can put them away, and we're not going to question you. That's powerful.
That's based off of his tech and his like science ability. That doesn't mean that's not like power that exudes from you as a person. Those are powers that have been given to you, or those are rights
Correct.
that have been bestowed upon you. That doesn't
Correct.
necessarily mean you walk in that power. I think that I agree with you that in this movie he came across petulant, he came across as jealous, petty, and not powerful because he is still in his mode of I don't understand why everybody likes him, likes Superman, and doesn't like me. Right now, he's just trying to get the attention. He was just trying to like shift focus, and he had like some other stuff going on. I think by the end of the movie slash when he comes back is when we are going to see like something much more like menacing because this to me like again not to do the comparison thing but this felt like what Jesse Eisenberg was trying to do with the whole like tech, young, not like our old, middle aged, grizzled,
Right.
well established. Everybody's already afraid of him, Lex Luthor, that we've been kind of used to seeing. It's like if we're coming up, this is Superman year 3, right? Then
Right.
that means Lex Luthor can't have been obsessed with this with this relationship for more than 3 years himself either. So he's not deep in the game on like the Lex that we see like in the animated series where he's been his nemesis and he's president, all this other stuff like that. So it's like I think that as we see more of this Lex, because I have a feeling that this Lex will probably be kind of like this universe's Loki, where he's just like the villain who kind of keeps coming back and we're seeing his ascension, his climb, as well as the rest of the universe getting built. I think those things will begin to establish because like what he ends up as at the end when he's doing his like unhinged monologue when he thinks he's winning and then even when he gets beat is very different than like I think the Lex that we see in the beginning where he's just like I'm just going to use my smarts and my wits and my tech and we'll get this guy out of here no problem and everybody see he's not that special and then at the end it's kind of like he is special but I'm special too and I need the world to see how special. So he realizes he's gonna have to be
I
much more
need
calculated.
validation.
Exactly. And I think as we move forward, we will see that power start to grow. But I think now that doesn't mean you have to like that choice. But I do think it was like a choice for him not to come across as all powerful as we are used to seeing Lex Luthor because everybody is kind of growing into their roles in this universe at this point. Even like the Justice Gang, it's like
Right.
nothing is like everything is like almost what we are used to seeing in the comics. Nothing is like
It's early
solidified yet.
stages of everything, which honestly I think works really well for it. Because
Not only that, but real quick, just as an
yeah,
aside, his plan, it's not, I don't, he didn't have a bad plan. The plan was brilliant. And
true,
the
really
things that
was.
he did to execute the plan were just like super, like, I mean, down to him calling out the numbers of the combinations of the way he wanted to, like, he was so, I just feel like they're planting the seeds of, look at this. He's ruthless. We saw him literally murder somebody in cold blood.
Yeah.
He's cunning. He's cold. The only thing standing in his way right now is him, his own ego, his own. You know what I mean? And in the end, when they showed him like getting taken away, you saw on his face something different than we had seen pretty much the whole movie.
Like at that point, he snapped. Like that was the
So
break for him. And he's about to go sit in Bel Rev, which is like the Supermax prison for metahumans. And that's where they put him. So he's going into a hard prison and he will go in and probably establish whatever necessary, get the right protection and build himself up. But, and again, it's just like I just see them being able to do so much with what little breadcrumbs they placed in this movie, because it is early enough for them to do any and everything. The only thing we have established is metahumans. Like 300 years is just enough time for them to go back far enough to introduce anybody they want to introduce. The 3 years ago is just enough time for us to skip past a lot of the setting up and be able to jump right into the superhero story. And we know with some of the other existing crossovers, like with Peacemaker, and we're going to have Supergirl, and we know Supergirl is going to contain Lobo. And we saw, meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, you know what I'm saying? Like, we see that. And so that is just like, it's there. It's planted for you to think back to that Super Friends cartoon and know
Even
that
Maxwell
that's
Lord.
right, Maxwell Lord. And so it's like having all of these things, they just have so much they can do with it, and it was fantastic.
I will say I agree with RG on just the overall notion that the movie was fine. Now, how I feel about the movie being fine is probably different from RG, because I'm like, I just needed it to be fine. Like, there's been so much like bad stuff.
There's been some hurt. I've just been so beaten down.
Yeah, let's just turn something in that the teacher can read, and we can get a decent grade back on. And when I look
getting this C+ was better than all them Fs we got.
It's like this movie was like it was oatmeal. It's like it'll fill you up. You can throw some sugar on it. You can maybe put some berries in it. You can, but at the end of the day, we dressing up the oatmeal. But the oatmeal,
it was more than oatmeal.
Well,
it was at least an omelet.
But I like
it's a Western omelet, boo.
Literally, like, you got to put some ham in it. It's little.
I mean,
it did some heavy lifting. I mean, as we pointed out,
I do. And the dog, I admit, and I'm a dog lover, but I didn't need to see the dog until he needed the dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, whistle for the dog and the dog comes to help, but all of the extra, it was cute, but it was like,
it's foolishness.
With the dog.
It was pure foolishness.
It would have been foolishness. It would have been foolishness. I have a special place for the dog because, like, had it been any other time in my life, I probably would have been over the dog too. But at the time, I was pet sitting for my sister. So, while I'm at the movie, her two dogs are here at my house. They would have been wreaking havoc, but, I had to put them in the pen to take care of that. But every time I saw Krypto, I saw my sister's dogs, and I felt Superman's
pain,
his pain, and his exasperation, because that dog acted like a combination of the two dogs that I had in my house. And
so obviously, I had no issue with the dog. This is my dog.
But if I hadn't been pet sitting, I would have been over the dog too. But when he jumped on Superman's chest and Superman's trying to get him to, he's like, Krypto, take me home. But Krypto just wants to play. I had a flashback to being on my couch with my sister's dog Nugget. He just wants to play, and he wants to climb up with his feet on my chest and kiss me in the face. And I'm like, man, I know what you're going through. So I think that is why I have a softer spot for Krypto, even though it was like a herky-jerky CGI mess. Yeah. But I could relate more. And so, that is why, to me, the movie was better than Oatmeal. There's definitely
maybe cinnamon apple. How about cinnamon apple?
Cinnamon and some raisins in the oatmeal.
Cat got jealous because the dog got picked up.
No, that's what that's what I was trying to say. It was like, really, it was this base that was created that obviously like Mr. Terrific. That's some sugar, cinnamon sugar in there,
Definite
and
granola.
yeah. And so I definitely think like I'm not saying that it was not good. I think it was fine. It was good. It accomplished all its tasks, but then when I do take the step back and I'm like, all right, clearly like they seem like they're going in a more, I don't even want to say Marvel route, but at least like a more comic book route. Whereas, we were in this like dark, I don't know what world we were
Depressing.
in before. The sun had been
So
clearly, the
dark.
sky had been, it basically
Everything
was
was
like the
just gray. It
Matrix.
was literally an emo song.
It was like
Right,
everywhere was Gotham. Superman
right,
ain't in
Facts.
Gotham.
Yeah.
right. And so
Yeah.
with this, I think like even just like tonally, color wise, like this looks like, feels like, sounds like super. Even because even in the movie, like I talked about it when we talked about the trailer, but in the interview scene when she's like interviewing Superman, he switches his voice from like his Clark Kent voice to his Superman voice. I'm like, oh, like we've talked so much about like the I'm Batman voice that like it never really even occurred to me that like yeah, Superman does
Superman
like a
does that
little
shit
voice
too.
switch too, and like that makes sense. So I think like I think that the movie was fine, and if you are somebody who does not like the things that the movie did, then you're just gonna think it's fine. But if you like those types of things, if you like, you know, cool fight scenes with obscure pop British band music playing over it,
Hey,
this is
that
your
was the
type of
Mighty
movie.
Crabjoys, bro. Get it right.
Not even that. It was like, for me, it was the little things like to show that who's Superman. Like when he would rescue people, he rescued the lady and he was like, "You good? You all right? Take deep breaths. You all right? Okay." And when
Yeah,
he was preventing things from falling and get your ass out of here. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I'm trying to save people. I'm trying to mitigate damage and be, whereas like the justice what are they? The Justice Gang.
Justice
The
Gang.
Justice
They didn't give a
yeah,
Gang.
damn. Like they didn't, you know what I mean? Like we're as normal superheroes are, your collateral that like what is the meme? Like you getting ready to go to work and
yeah.
you look out the window and the Hulk just
Blows your car.
your car
Right.
is
Like can't get to
Hulk
work
like,
tomorrow,
smashed
oh,
boss.
your car.
You don't had a
I feel
superhero
like that was
plan for your
important. Like the
insurance?
things,
Oh man, you gotta get
right?
that. Gotta get that Metropolis coverage.
Yeah, you got to get off the island, bro. You got to get to the boroughs.
That was another added aspect that kind of pissed me off about the movie too. The goddamn public.
No,
The public. It was the fucking public. Look, I
I
hate
can
the idea
understand.
of, here is the thing. I'm just keeping it a buck. If I see a nigga get thrown through a building, I'm running. I'm running. And I think most people will run. Most
The first time,
you could
yes.
want your cell phone.
right?
Look,
The first time, yes. But after 3 years of living in Metropolis and seeing it, you're gonna be like the dude at the little store. He's just looking out the window, like, all right, when it get
Any
closer,
minute now.
when it get
Right.
closer,
see
then
this.
maybe I'll do
Who the
something.
fuck does that? No, people.
Normal people.
If you
It's like
run
people
through,
if you're from a place where you hear gunshots a lot, you don't duck like everybody else duck when you hear a gunshot.
I don't think people in Ukraine or
That's a good analogy.
people in war. Not, well, hold on. And see, in those situations, that's a bullet. We rolling the dice on that one. I might not get it. They're not aiming at me. It's not going to happen. But I have watched buildings fall. We've watched multiple buildings do the domino thing, and I'm just going to stand there like there's not a 90% chance
But see,
that
those people.
rubble is going to fall on me, right?
But you're making
It's
two different
paralyzed with
comparisons
fear.
now.
It's
Now
a
the people who are like watching a building fall on them, they're running. They're on the bridge trying to escape, and then of course the car cuts off as it does because it's a movie and you have to build drama and suspense. And then it's like she's just resigned that, okay, well, you know what? I didn't get out in time. I'm gonna die. Not that she was like, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. No, she was panicking, trying to get the car started. Those people were on the bridge running. Now, when the kaiju was outside and the people were in the building,
The people were outside. Why is there a road? There's a circle of people. Like, oh, this motherfucker's
What
flying
you
in
want me to
a
do?
10-story.
Because
Run.
Run
Like,
where? Okay,
I'm running. I'm just running.
so here's
I'm running away from the gigantic monster.
Okay,
and go where? And go where?
Wherever the gigantic, in a direction, whatever direction the gigantic monster is not going in. That is the direction I'm running in.
RG,
You live in a world where there's not a man with a red
Motherfucker,
cape.
you want everybody here would run.
RG, a 50-story building is falling, right?
What?
That means that building is at least 600 feet tall.
Correct.
All right. Even if you
pull out that
were
trig
halfway through, even if you were like 200 feet away from the building, you're not about to run 400 feet in 9.8 seconds. Because that's how long it's going to take for the building to fall.
This is what I'm not doing. All right, Facebook. Well, I'm getting ready to die, y'all. Building about to fall on me. Make sure you cop that new album that I'm not going to be able to drop.
Superman.
But let me say this:
Superman saving everybody for the last 3 years. Superman been coming and swooping and saving everybody in the same situation. So what I'm gonna run for?
He got me. I'm just like, I know this nigga gonna get me.
He's saving squirrels. He's saving dogs.
I will say, I can say I understand your point as far as like the public and the crowd and whatnot, but these people are, I mean, the comic book crowd, like in all, and I feel like all of the comic book movies. Yeah, I mean, because if you take, you watch The Boys, it's the same crowd. These are people who have gotten accustomed to seeing heroes, because we know the Justice Gang is out there. We got a woman with wings who's flying. We got a dude who just looked like he floating around, and we got a dude that just makes these green things appear out of nowhere. That exists. Oh, and now we got this dude with a cape that flies. This is a different world. So these are different citizens. This is a different crowd of people. These are not, you're thinking about it from
we don't know who any of their real identities are. So you just walking around like anybody could be Superman.
You know,
because I just thought it was funny that that's another thing.
His hypno glass.
Nobody asked during that entire situation, has anybody seen Clark? Has anybody seen Clark?
I think they will. I think they will. They will pick up on that. No.
It's all good. It's all good.
And
it's fine.
And they didn't pick up on it. They didn't even mention it.
But Lex didn't even pick up on it. I was laughing.
Even in the
I was like,
comics,
damn, Lex knows everything. But don't know that's Clark Kent. Made a whole clone of the man without glasses on. And still.
Very often in the comics, Clark Kent, as an investigative reporter, is usually off on assignment. That is the very simple explanation that they give.
I'm getting all of silver medal for that one. I'm getting a silver medal.
All of the time. He is just off on investigation. He sends in his reports, he sends in his stories and things like that, and a lot of stuff gets published. So this was a movie about Superman, and I feel like we got a little bit of Clark, and I really did like the transition we got to see from Clark to Superman, and that little bit of in between when he's just like being himself, and he's just, kind of talking with, I guess, a normal voice. But then when he goes into Superman, he has to put on the Superman voice, and he has to talk like Superman, because this is how Superman would talk. Yes, Miss Lane, and he's that guy. And then because it's just the two of them, he is talking very casually and very informal. When we see him defending Superman as Clark in the Daily Planet, he almost forgets and starts like defend. Well, no, I wouldn't say that he got beat. Well, Superman was actually saving the day. He saved. I mean, he could have fought some more people. Like he had to catch himself because he was going into full Superman mode, and that was one of those nice little nuances that show just a difference in the people. That was something you don't get to see, and I think letting a comic book movie be a comic book movie. We're talking about an alien that's flying around. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what the citizens are doing. They are recording it. You know what I'm saying? That's no different than the dude that's in all the Marvel movies. Like, he just always happened to be where the action is, with the cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Like Spider-Man do a flip. Then he's on the bus when Shang-Chi is happy. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude always there. And he's always like recording the action as it's happening. That dude is completely desensitized. He's not running no more. It just works out for him that good things are going to happen and he'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way these citizens are at this point. A few people,
like,
but I mean, when the heat vision goes through the building, those people were still scared and they were running. And, when the rift was happening, they were evacuating the city. It was a shit ton of people trying to go. So, I mean,
You scared because your dumbass ain't leave the damn building. You still in there talking about, and our third quarter results are, no, we should be, oh, shit, I read. Yeah.
Because think about it like this, too.
A lot of that stuff happens really quickly.
Company is in Metropolis 3 years ago.
What?
First time Superman fought somebody in the city. Everybody evacuated and ran. The buses had to stop. People... Think about all the hours we lost.
It's like a snow day.
3 years of that. After 3 years,
Atlanta,
the boss be like, bro,
shut down.
if they get within 3 blocks, we'll think about evacuating.
Right.
I don't know about y'all school. At my schools, when I was growing up, if the fire alarm went off, we just sat there until they came on the intercom and said, "Y'all actually need to leave the building," because we had so many people pull the fire alarm. Fire alarm just going off. They testing it. So it's like, after a while, you like, I don't know if this is, I'm not about to hop up and run every time the fire alarm goes off because I know 9 times out of 10 it's some BS.
I think once again, RG just looking, he's making up shit to complain about. It's cool. I mean, I do understand,
it's fine.
Yes, some people.
It's fine.
No, I get it. I mean, I can understand.
A deal breaker? No,
I can understand where that argument comes from, but it's like these are also people who see a flying man, so you can't expect them to be sensible like the rest of us who don't see flying men daily. You know what I'm saying? It's different for us. Something I want to highlight that I really appreciated in this movie was having Wendell Pierce. And this came up in a conversation I was having with somebody at the end of last week when somebody wanted me to, I finally got a chance to talk about it, and they were like, "Oh, I don't care about the spoilers. I got questions." And they started asking about this and this and this. So I was just like, yes, and I was getting it all out. And I was so happy. One of the things that I really appreciated was having somebody the caliber of Wendell Pierce as Perry White. Because Wendell Pierce is an established enough actor that he brings some gravitas to the role. He brings some respectability, and he seems like someone in charge. You know what I'm saying? We've seen him on Jack Ryan. We've seen him in Suits. Hell, he was just in Thunderbolts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he seems like somebody. Say what?
He's a police chief in Elsbeth.
Oh,
it's a show on CBS. One of my mystery shows.
Right, the one you told me about. So it's like having somebody like Wendell Pierce solidifies the role, and it provides a little bit of importance for the character without creating expectation for the character. And I say that to point, and it's difficult not to make certain observations. I won't call them comparisons, but when Lawrence Fishburne was Perry White, that was Lawrence Fishburne. I expected something. You know what I'm saying? Like I was looking for something to come of that because it was Lawrence Fishburne. And you can put his name on the marquee and, use that to help promote and stuff like that. And then for what they ask of him in the movie, it's so trivial. It's so little. And it honestly feels like a wasted casting to have him there and not do anything with it. Having J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon, and it means nothing. It means nothing. These are just like wasted casting opportunities. And so I think, and it was Brandy had mentioned, I think Teresa, you may have said, I think we were talking about at some point, but having this cast of people who they're not unknowns, but these are not big names. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell, Nathan Fillion might be the biggest name on this cast. and he's not the star. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, you know, Bronzeworth, she's pretty well established with the Marvelous Miss Maisel. I knew not. Nicholas Holt was probably another like big name in this casting. You know what I'm saying? Or just somebody who was easily recognizable. But everybody else is kind of like mid-tier, and I think that does enough to kind of not lower the bar, but it just gives them more room to exceed expectations. And but you still have to establish something by having people who fit the role. And I think it is so important to note that I think they just did a fantastic job with casting, and everybody looked their part. Everybody fit their character. And I think the casting was just spot on. And what really nailed it down for me was Wendell Pierce as Perry. I was just like, he just looks important. Like everybody's gonna do what he says in that office.
Yeah. But it's also like we saw enough of him. You know what I mean? Like I think in this movie, the Daily Planet actually like matters. We spend time there. We spend time there seeing the relationship between everybody there. Even, you know, the sports guys, seeing, you know, the Cat Grant cameo, all that stuff that, you know, Cat Grant, that's like, you know, the comic.
Is that she's somebody?
She's just like another reporter in the world.
Gossip
so
writer.
She's not whatever the girl's name is. Is it Black Canary?
No. She literally is
okay.
She literally is just like another reporter. But yeah, she's the gossip entertainment reporter. So anytime in Superman they're interviewing like famous people on the red carpet, that's like Cat Grant's beat versus like she's kind of like not a foil for Lois, but more of like we're gonna show this like other person to show how serious Lois is versus like a Cat Grant who is dealing with
flighty,
like less serious stories.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I didn't know. I was like, they keep showing her. I'm like, is she?
Yeah.
Like I thought she was gonna pop out in a costume, and she didn't. And I was like, oh.
If it had been the Arrowverse, probably. Like
generally, she's like more of a Supergirl character as well. So that was kind of like laying some of the foundation, I think, for maybe her to pop up in the movie next year. But I think what I was saying, you know, I think everywhere we went, all of the cohorts or the teams that we met, there was like a purpose behind it. And I think James Gunn did a really good job of like, even within a movie that's a solo movie, building these like mini teams, mini families, where it's like, okay, this is Clark's relationship to his parents. This is Clark's relationship to Lois. But this is Clark's relationship to the Daily Planet, which also includes Lois. This is Clark's relationship with the Justice Gang because they already know each other. So we don't have to do the whole like, whose side are you on? Like, you know, we can skip that and go straight to like, we've come across each other a few times. You're annoying. You're cool. You're new. You guys think I'm smug. It's cool. We know, like, we're gathering how people feel about each other without them having to be like, I can't stand you. Remember the last time we went to this one mission and it's like
17 days ago.
Yeah, we don't have to deal with none of that. I think because he does such a great job of being like, this is about relationships. And especially with the character like Superman, how does he relate? That's his main story. He's an alien who's nothing like anybody else on the planet, trying to figure out how he relates to this world that he's been sent to. And I think James Gunn, with the casting, the writing, but also like the care to show us the Daily Planet and how they sit around and like talk through things, how they react to the news. And you see multiple different personalities and multiple different responses in this space. But then, like Sam said, having a Wendell Pierce, yes, but also having the script written in a way where it's like they all respect Perry. And like, even with Jimmy calling him Chief, and he's like, don't call me Chief. And it's like, yeah, but like, they're calling him chief because of the respect that they have for him in the role, and he's kind of like cool, but like also just do your job. You're not gonna like calling me chief isn't gonna like sway how I feel about publishing a story or anything. Like we just got so much, I think, about each character in such a small amount of time due to the good writing and the good like team building. Like they kept people contained. So it was like Green Lantern's not showing up at the Daily Planet. Jimmy's not hanging out with Hawk Girl. Like we're not doing all this like weird.
Yeah.
But we're not doing all this.
Jimmy
weird,
go get the
like,
digits. Like
yeah, we're just not doing all this like weird stuff that I feel like previously DC did not do a great job of really just like establishing like who these people are. Why do we care about them?
Yeah.
Why does what they're doing matter to me as a viewer? And how are they connected to one another? And I think James Gunn solved all of those problems in this movie. And I think the reason I'm optimistic moving forward is because as you add more characters, that becomes a larger web that is very easy to get tangled. And I think his experience at Marvel definitely is going to help him in being able to expand this, because even though this movie is fine and I liked it and it's good, I can't help but it just keeps taking me back to like Zack Snyder was just so far in over his head in terms of storytelling that like we could have had this. Like it wasn't about not having a bunch of people and just having only Superman in the movie and focusing on that. It wasn't about, you know, the uniform being right and all this other stuff, because I think even if this story had been told in the Dark Skies gray universe we were in before, it would have made more sense, because everything that you need to know about this movie is in this movie. And if you know something, if you like a Cat Grant, if you know that, cool. But if you don't, Brandy didn't know who Cat Grant was, didn't take away from the enjoyment of the movie at all. I knew who Cat Grant was. Yeah, that was cool to see, but it wasn't so distracting. And I'm like, why is Cat Grant here? Why isn't she doing more? You know what I mean?
When she
like,
delivered her lines, they made sense for the character in that scene at that moment.
Exactly.
You didn't have
I
to
even
read
like
it.
the henchmen, Luther's.
Yeah.
Henchman, the black dude and the dude with the mustache. Like I cared about them. Like I was,
right.
you know, like not the henchman. Don't do anything to
Because even
him.
going back to RG's point about power, like in my mind, I'm like, these henchmen are talking back to Lex Luthor. That usually don't happen. But I'm like, okay, this is early Luthor. He's giving the illusion that I built it all myself, but it's like it's on the backs of these other scientists and these other people. Like you not doing nothing but saying commands. Other people flying the drones, they doing the shit, they putting in the commands. Ultraman out there fighting. You just talking.
Well, remember, eventually they did have a moment where they showed he had him in check. When he started like just knocking the shit off the table and making him pick it up.
That was
You know what I'm
totally
saying? Like, I was like, God damn, this is mean as shit.
When he was just, and then he just casually tipped. He made them clean it up, and then he tipped the other one over. I was like, you shit.
Right.
But no, my thing is one thing that James Gunn does.
That wasn't the portal guy.
Yeah. I think one thing that James Gunn does, and I haven't determined whether or not this is a plus or minus for me. It's a plus in that I know it can eventually turn into a plus. When he does movies like this, a lot of the characters that he originally introduces are very one note. And so I like Wendell Pierce because I fucking love Wendell Pierce because that's my man from The Wire. So
The Wire, Jack Ryan, Suits.
I love. You know what I'm saying? He's the man. Thank you. He's the man for that.
The Gregory
but Perry's a one-note character.
You said what?
The Gregory Hines show.
Wow, he really went there. Holy cow!
Deep cut.
Holy cow!
Yeah, like he been around. Like he still looks great. Like he got to be in his 60s, right?
Probably.
Like
probably.
Like I said, having a name like that, it brought something to it.
I mean, now to me, here's the thing. I liked seeing him. But the character's one note. And James Gunn tends to do that in a lot of his ensemble movies where he has a lot of one note people that are almost caricatures, right? And he did that a little bit. He did that with Suicide Squad, right? Where there's a lot of caricatures in there, right?
Those are characters
But
he killed off.
well, yeah, but that, again, that's the thing, right? But there's still a lot of these kind of side
You made me care about a
things that
talking
takes.
shark.
Yes, he did. No, he does again. Great at ensemble movies, right? And that was an ensemble movie where we had to kind of care about certain ones on the actual team, on the core team. Now, this is not an ensemble movie. This is a Superman movie, and he did a good job with the introduction to Superman. And I understand that the characters on the side, outside of Lois, are all just that. They're side characters. Now, and this is why I say what he does that I haven't determined yet how I totally feel about it. I loved Peacemaker, right? Like, I actually loved Peacemaker, and Peacemaker was the ultimate
as well,
right? And Peacemaker was the ultimate character. He was a very one-note dude in a movie that he was, the co-star of, right?
Right.
But once you dove into his character, James Gunn did a great job at making Peacemaker almost redeemable, almost relatable, almost understandable. It was like, holy cow, all right, you're an asshole, but I understand why you're an asshole. I'm starting to get it about you. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping, and my hope is that, and this is possible because the movie's fine, and is that in the future, I am hopeful in the future that as long as James Gunn is responsible for at least the core base of the DCU, that there will be other media, other shows, other spinoffs, other movies where he will get a better chance to dive into characters, because he is very good at storytelling and finding ways to getting you to care about characters in ways that doesn't immediately kind of show off because of the first time you see these characters. So that is the only reason why I'm kind of hopeful, and optimistic toward it, because I know what James Gunn is capable of. Like, you can make me like Peacemaker.
When we get the Jimmy Olsen, if we get the Jimmy Olsen spinoff, that's where we will see the characters from
Which
the
I don't
planet.
need.
I mean, we don't need, but that would be where we get these.
Teresa already canceled it. She said this will not be getting ordered to series.
Oops.
You don't need, but that's the opportunity. And honestly, I think that's kind of what RG's talking about, where we would get more from Wendell Pierce than when we see him every time Jimmy's at work or whatnot. Because I mean, and my mind's already a million miles a minute. But some of the stuff that's going around online is, Mr. Terrific spinoff and a Jimmy Olsen spinoff. Jimmy Olsen spinoff, there was a comic run, Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, and in the animated My Adventures with Superman, Jimmy Olsen plays a big role in that. If you take this character,
like as a TV show, Jimmy Olsen spinoff, like as a show.
Yeah, as a TV show, and I think
I don't need that as a movie.
Oh hell no, not a movie. I don't think it would work as a movie, but as a TV show, episodic. I mean, it would be a situation we see
digital shorts,
the different date that he goes on here or there.
Even you got 12 minutes to make me like you.
In whatever facet they show it, the point is they would be able to give us more out of those supporting cast. And we would get more out of the Daily Planet. We would get more from Wendell Pierce. And that's where we take these one-dimensional characters and we get to see a little bit more behind the scenes. We get to see why Steve is the way Steve is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we come to find out that he's, he hurt his knee in high school and never got to go to college to play ball. So he's a sports writer now. And he doesn't really have any friends, and that's why he acts extra macho and blah, 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 blah. whatever the case may
Sorry,
be.
I just did we need do I don't
So where's Superman?
right.
Okay. Well, it's a
That's
horrible
no, no, no.
idea. My bad for throwing it out there because
Is
I'm just
Mr. Terrific
reporting
gonna come
what's
around
there.
or like
And Mr. Terrific was another one that talked about it. Is the whole show going to focus on Steve? I think what I'm saying might be getting lost here. Teresa doesn't like it. I'll let it go. The point is, if
I
they
don't
do
want
a
a
Jimmy
show about
Olsen,
Jimmy.
well, folks, that's been our review. Damn, I was just trying to explain your point, RG. My bad. You spoke for it. It's cool. No. It's cool. Clearly, this is not
No.
the show y'all go watch. And it's so James Gunn. Do not make that show. Don't do that one.
we
It's
don't
not
need
going
that.
to
No,
trend
we
well.
good. We got
It's
the
not going to
gist.
trend well.
I mean, I think to RG's point about one note, though, it is. I think that's why James Gunn is successful with ensemble movies because everybody's just playing one note. It's like to further the musical analogy. It's like we're all playing one note. If we're all just playing one note, then I know who's out of tune. I know who's playing the wrong note, who's flat, who's sharp, where we should be in this. Because everybody playing one note, but we're not all playing the same note.
Correct.
So that's how you get harmony, like multiple people
Correct.
playing different notes and blending it together. But
I don't know that I can say that because I think his characters are incredibly nuanced. Like it's easy to be like Drax is one note, but he's not. He's
that's the point I was going to make. I think I was actually literally just about to start talking about Guardians. I think in the first Guardians movie, we kind of do get like, outside of the like, we're all sitting in a sad circle telling each other about our lives portion of the first movie. Everybody kind of is one note, but you can tell there's like something else. By the time we get to Guardians 3, everybody on that team is like completely fleshed out because we've had time with all of them to allow them to play multiple notes. When you come in movie 1 and you just jazz riffing as a character and everybody's jazz, it's like, look, if I'm doing a solo, you gotta walk that bass line and just chill out on the keys, chord progressions. But I can't be John Coltrane up and down my saxophone and then you playing the Thelonious Monk solo and you are it's too much. It's just noise. And I think that's what, again, not to keep talking about it, to me, that's what Zack Snyder did. It was like he was trying to throw so much turmoil into each character that nobody stood for anything, and so nobody meant anything, and so nobody connected, and so it was just like the explosions are cool, bro, but once the dust settles, I don't care if any of these people made it out of the explosion.
Facts.
Honestly, like they can all blow
Facts
up,
though. Like that's I don't buy that these people are a team. It doesn't make sense to me. This isn't cohesive. Like, okay, y'all are he's forming the Justice League, but there's nothing
when I'm watching
like
David Corn Sweat get sucked into a black hole and he saved a dog, and are they gonna make it out of the thing in time? Like I'm invested because I'm like, okay, like this Superman has been a good man. He's helped. I've seen him save people. I've seen him think about the people who don't usually get thought about in these times: the squirrels, the dogs, the children, the falafel cart guy. Everybody like cares about this person, and it seems to be because he clearly has shown he is a person who cares about everyone else.
Yes,
that's all that has come through clearly to me. So now I care about this character because that is the emotion that this whole movie is like centered around. Whereas like, so I agree. It is one note, and I think.
But I'm not saying the Superman character is just the other people, not the main, not like him and Lois. But.
Yeah, and again, that's like him choosing to focus and having the discipline to focus. Because there's a lot of cool stuff he could go into about Mr. Terrific. He could have spent that whole little alien pod ride like, well, I'm this and I'm that, and I was in the Olympics and blah 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 blah. He was just like, I don't do emotions. And when she starts talking about her feelings, he's just like, "Did you
the look he gave her? Like, did you not just hear me explain to you? Right.
Like, I'm not gonna respond
Right.
to any of this.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. Like, that's every black man's dream at work, to just go to work and not have to hear whatever the little white lady next to you complaining about.
Just show up, do your job, and go
It's like,
home.
I don't care,
Oh,
Cheryl.
shit.
I don't care.
And there were several one note characters, but I feel like Gunn used them very well to draw in another part of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he knew that he needed a movie that needed to appeal to a lot of people because the past ones didn't.
Right.
So I feel like he was trying to draw in more than just Superman fans. And I think he did a good job with that. You know, he played on the animal lovers, so he drew in the dog lovers. He did a great job with Mr. Terrific of bringing in
The
black
Negro
people,
vote.
point blank, the black people, you know, because I wouldn't have liked this movie half as much without Mr. Terrific. I think he did a good job of giving these characters, even if they were just one note characters, using them to make the movie better.
Also, I did appreciate that, and I know that this is probably a problem for people, but it's like it wasn't just Mr. Terrific. There were a lot of black and brown characters, and it wasn't like, huh? It
Right,
was just like regular life, like
right.
real life. You're going to see and work with and be around, especially in a city like Metropolis. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So it makes sense for there to be a lot of diversity in the city. And I appreciated that. It was just something that offhand that I noted. I'm like, wow, there's two black people in this scene. That's not normal.
And
You know?
they were on both sides. It was when the people who loved Superman, and as the public started to turn, the people who were against Superman. They
Right,
were
right.
so, like you said, it wasn't like,
Or
hey, see,
everywhere.
look, they were
And I like the
casually
monkeys.
mixed throughout the.
I was
Yes,
like,
yes,
yeah.
that's the think tank that I think programs a lot of the stuff at a lot of the places. It's evident. Um, Again, I'm sorry that he wasn't quite what you wanted, RG, but I think Nicholas Hoult was hella menacing, and I think he was Nicholas Hoult and Mr. Terrific, or excuse me, Lex Luthor and Mr. Terrific were the two surprises in this movie that I was not expecting and was so pleased to get. But I have to say, like, this might be the best version of Superman we've had in a very, very long time. And I would be curious to see, and we're not going to do it today because we're going to go ahead and wrap it tonight, but be thinking about it because I'm curious to see, like, where does this Superman rank for you? Where does David Cornsweet rank as Superman? This particular Kal-El Clark Kent Superman, where does he fall on the list of live action Supermans? And we'll even include Tom Welling's Smallville, though he never wore the cape, he was still very much Kal-El. So,
Can I just say one? I just want to say one more
Sure.
thing. Shout out to the cinematography because they was working overtime to make sure we knew this motherfucker was Superman. Like,
we got like
the fight
6
scene,
close-ups
the
of
fight
the chest, like.
But the one that sealed it for me was when he saved the lady's car from being crushed by the building, and when she drove back and looked back, and he like floated up out of the debris, and I was like, okay, James Gunn gets it. This guy gets it. Like I'm locked in, Jimmy. I'm locked in.
Yeah. Well, I a lot of people that I've spoken with have told me that this movie, like, they can easily see that people might become a fan of Superman after this movie, and I feel like that's a lot of praise for this movie. And as much as I enjoyed the movie, I don't know if this one movie is gonna turn their mind around. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were already a fan of Superman, you probably love this movie. If you weren't a fan of Superman, he might be fine now. He might be fine.
Word for the day.
Oatmeal.
But right, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it just goes to show that depending on who has the oatmeal, it can be really good or it can be boring and bland. That's exactly, and I'll accept that because I love oatmeal and I know how to make oatmeal, and my oatmeal be good as fuck. So I don't know what y'all eating that you don't like oatmeal.
You like, just because you ain't got no sugar in your house, you got to use,
know what I'm saying?
You got to use that old molasses to season.
You got to use the brown sugar with a little bit of butter, let it settle, stir it, and make it with milk, not water. But if you don't know that, that's cool. I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna show you how to appreciate your oatmeal.
Walnut, cranberries.
You know what I'm saying? There's so many options, so many ways to do it. I don't know. I think it's safe to say that we all ultimately enjoyed the movie. I personally think it was a fantastic movie. And if nothing else, it's safe to say that this is a good start to the DCU. If they can keep the movies this way and, you know, learn from the mistakes, anything that they didn't do here that they could have done better, maybe when we get to the Supergirl movie, tone down Krypto a little bit. Bring him in at the beginning, sprinkle a little bit in the middle, and maybe at the end. He doesn't need to be a co-star in the movie. I like dogs, and even I was like, okay, damn, we get it, the dog, okay. And so, you know, there's good, there's bad. I think definitely a lot more good in this film than bad, and I look forward to taking my nephews to go see it, so I'll get a chance to see it yet again. And cannot wait till it comes home to Max, and I'm sure it'll be like 30 days from now, so I can watch it, just have it on in the background constantly. A lot of good reading that came from this, and it was an excuse to go back and reread some of the comics. If you've done any of the behind the scene or spoiler reviews on it, Superman Birthright was properly adapted this go round, and there is a conversation that takes place with the Kents, and I think they tried to adapt some of that in Man of Steel. This go round, it seems to have gone over a little bit better. But All-Star Superman, Superman Birthright, Superman for All Seasons, those are three really good stories, as they are all kind of the early stages of Superman's career, and were clearly part of the inspiration for this story. Enjoyed it a lot, and I'm glad that you guys got on here and talked to me about Superman, because that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. Just talk some Superman. You know what I'm saying? Just some good things about DC. Marvel been just marveled out. Damn, I get it. Okay, y'all good.
Been whooping y'all head for a decade.
We back, baby. We back. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about all that.
I mean, hey, if we just lead on the strength of this movie, you know what I'm saying? Like, DCU could start and finish with this movie, and I would call it a win. Simple as that. But I think
give me some more Mr. Terrific before I give you that.
That's fine.
But see, I don't know. It's like, apparently y'all don't want no spinoffs or nothing because of one notes and all that.
I don't want no Jimmy.
We don't want Jimmy Olsen, my man.
Right. That is not the same thing.
Right.
Just pick
The
another
Jimmy
character.
Olsen spinoff is unnecessary.
Right.
Just pick another dude.
Hey, he was one of the characters in the show, and he had a big part, and I think that brings in the whole Daily Planet. That was the point I was making with that. We don't have to have a Jimmy Olsen. It's not like I'm a major Jimmy Olsen fan. Y'all stop coming for me about
It would be like
Jimmy
a
Olsen.
mystery of the week
You want
kind of
Daily
thing,
Planet show? There you go.
like Murder She Wrote. But
Digital
I mean,
Source,
it's Jimmy Olsen.
the bullpen.
It wouldn't
There you
even.
go.
It wouldn't even like. I'm not writing the Jimmy Olsen bit, so it doesn't matter to me. I was just explaining a way to have other characters and deep dive into their stories and get more out of it. But Jimmy Olsen clearly wasn't the way to do that. So having Jimmy Olsen cameo in Mr. Terrific, that
I'd
don't
rather
make
watch
sense.
a show about Perry. Now I'm just messing. I'm just like,
And
I
mean, even if it had just been a
Anybody
Daily
other than
Planet
that?
show, even if it had just been a Daily Planet show, that would have been. But nonetheless, yes, if they do any of the spinoffs, Mr. Terrific will be the one that I would look forward to the most. And I am curious, when we saw the trailer for Peacemaker season 2, saw Hawk Girl, saw Green Lantern, saw Maxwell Lord, didn't see Mr. Terrific. Now I want to know what's up with that and why. Like, I need some Mr. Terrific in there.
No, I'm hoping he plays no part in the foolishness.
I give it
I'm
a
getting them,
10,
Teresa.
and I
I'm
appreciated
getting
that
Mr.
Mr.
Terrific.
Terrific said that all of his he said he put nanobites. Well, I put nanobites in everybody's bloodstream, and
Right.
that it took me. I was like later that night, like did he just mean his friends or?
He said everybody.
Right.
Third smartest
he did
man
it
on the planet.
casually.
And
Oh no,
they-
I put nanobites in everybody's bloodstream. It's not a big. Just
right,
Don't
just so
worry.
casual with it.
Don't
too.
worry about it.
right.
We're not going to
this is what
revisit
I
that
do.
shit at all. Like, nigga, what did you just say?
Crypto was the best part. I mean,
hey,
if you
for
like
crypto, good boy.
Thanks for proving my point, Vic. Thank you.
He got a few good boys from me.
He did.
He broke his
he did
little things. He helped.
He did. He
helped.
deserved all the
He
pets.
threw Lex around like the Hulk.
Yeah, that was hilarious right there.
And Lex
And
got out of
everybody
that with
just
like
watched.
a cut on his face and his wrist hurt a little bit.
I mean, that's a good thing. Crypto could have killed that man.
He should have.
Nah,
I'm
PG-13.
just
We
playing.
got to get
I'm
away
just
from
playing.
that darkness. Got to get away.
Yeah, I
from
couldn't
that.
believe they shot old boy like that. I did not think they were going to go there.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that.
I was like,
I think that was just the shake-up people needed at that moment to wake him back up and get him into the movie. Like, oh, Lex out here killing folk. Wait a minute, what's happening?
We gotta have some
Right.
stakes. You can't
It
be
was like this.
Just
is a
didn't
comic
expect
book
it to
movie,
go
not
that
a
dark.
cartoon.
because there was
Right.
kids in my theater.
But it was one of those moments that just it actually put stakes in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we have a very unhinged Lex, we don't know what he gonna do with this now.
Right.
We don't know. We don't know if this is gonna result. Like, we got kryptonite in the cell. My man holding a gun. Somebody just died. Ooh, do we have a kryptonite bullet? What is finna happen here? Hold on.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
How
I
far he's
was not-
willing to go.
Yeah, so it's like it did a lot to bring up some interesting points. But there's actually
A friend of mine just posted my review of the new Superman movie, and then the picture hated it. It's not for everybody.
Well, I mean, it's
It is not.
like I said, I
Nothing
read
for
a
everyone.
review earlier that basically outlined somebody was saying that it was too bright and colorful, and I'm like, and
I
they
mean,
weren't even someone who
you're
was
used
like
to shooting movies in your closet
championing.
with a flashlight. Sunlight is real bright.
I mean, the best that they had to talk about was The Dark Knight. They weren't a fan of like the Snyder films or anything like that. But I'm like, well, The Dark Knight wasn't like all. I mean, it wasn't just like super duper dark. Yes, it had some moments, and you know, we got the Joker, but that was
that's
different.
Batman.
Right, that was
Batman
different.
is supposed to be dark. That's literally his whole thing.
Right.
He's
But
this what he
again-
lives for a cloudy day. Like
Right. I am the night. I am vengeance. You know, but there again,
Batman
it's
is
just
not Superman.
it is. I would actually be curious to see the dynamic between this Superman and a Batman. I'm curious to see how they bring in the other
But
leaguers,
not
how they
the
bring in
Batman.
not the Batman, not Robert Pattinson.
Mm-mm.
Let me be clear.
It's
A
happening.
Batman.
Mm-mm.
A
not?
Batman.
Why not?
Because I
because-
hate him.
You know who he would play off well against? Keaton's Batman. I think they would play off against each other really well because Keaton's got that snarky kind of sarcasm in a way
Yeah.
that Clark isn't. But I think Christian Bale took himself way too seriously to like banter.
Well, Keaton
And
is
they
the
would
best
need banter.
Batman, in my opinion.
You said
Yeah.
what?
So Keaton is the best Batman.
That's
Okay,
how I feel about it.
yeah, I can see
I
that.
think Keaton is as close to a comic book Batman that we can get, or a live action Batman animated series Batman. I think Michael Keaton is closest to something like that. Personally, believe it or not, I think all the Zack Snyder movies did was just really like push Batman up to the forefront. Like even in like
Absolutely.
Man of Steel was the only movie that had Superman in it. Everything else was about Batman.
Mhm.
And I really think that Ben Affleck was a fantastic comic accurate Batman. They were just using the
He
wrong
just had terrible
comics.
movies.
Yeah.
Like I think he was in the I really do. As soon as they said Batman, I was like, ooh, because he's big. Like physically, people forget how tall he is. He's physically imposing. Like he can
And
do that.
He packed
That
on a
kind of
lot of muscle for the
snarky,
role.
charming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
think he was a good Batman for that ensemble movie. Maybe not that ensemble movie because,
Right.
but for an ensemble, I think he was a good Batman. I think he could have been really good with Jason Momoa's Aquaman and,
Mhm.
Right.
maybe even Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman if she could act a little bit better. But,
I was just getting ready to say
the
if she
movies
could
weren't
emote just a
good.
little.
Yeah. But see, that's why I'm curious. Like, as we see the Hall of Justice, which is an
But y'all
early
said
nod.
Pattinson's Batman is not going to be the Batman, right? This is a
No.
completely separate thing, like Joker.
As it stands right now, it
We'll
is
see.
a completely separate thing.
Mm.
As it stands right now,
I don't
James
even know why
Gunn-
they're making a sequel to
Gotta
that
wait for them Batman
garbage
2 numbers
movie.
to come in.
Because Penguin
That-
did so
They
well.
are supposed to be making a
because of
sequel.
Batman 1
Probably
I
because
know.
Penguin
Good.
did so well. I mean, I think whoever's writing that Batman universe is
Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's doing a good job with it. Like it's not a
That's
friend.
the-
I'm gonna put it to you like this: it's not a superhero friendly Batman. You know what I'm saying? It's a
No.
very overly dramatic
But see, that-
crime.
Based in realism.
Crime, you
I was
know
about
what
to
I'm
say,
saying?
that gets back into
Hyper-realistic.
the very grounded, real life. This is how a person could actually be Batman. And I need a comic book, Justice League Unlimited. I need somebody to just like appear and disappear on screen and make me laugh every time they do it, because that's what Batman do. And I could see this David Cornsweet talking and then turn and Batman not be there. And that would be like a good, silly little thing for them in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the kind of Superman we have. So I need a Batman that matches that kind of energy. And I'm curious to see what they do as far as a Wonder Woman that would match that kind of energy. What would a Flash look like in this new James Gunn verse? We see what the Green Lantern looks like. We see what Hawk Girl looks like. And this was not Shiara. This is not the Hawk Girl that ends up with Green Lantern. So
we still have a Harley
We don't have
Quinn.
a
We
time
still
for it,
have
so.
Peacemaker. Like we still have those characters in this universe. So
I'm
Right.
saying Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. You know what? I'm gonna be so glad to talk about it when it come out. It's gonna be so good.
This is what we need. This is what we need. We just need to do a DCU fan cast it for the more people who haven't been cast yet. The characters are like maybe even we just do the other like main Justice League people.
Yeah.
Based on like now that we've seen this Superman, who would we want to see fit into this universe as those characters? And then we could just do a separate thing where we speculate on
who's actually
all
going to
that.
make the cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We'll set up the parameters and the rules for that. I like that. That is a great idea.
I'm back to casting all black people. Get ready.
That'll work. That'll work. I mean, you know what? I think Cora Sweat might be it.
Apache Chief.
This
Leon.
Superman could love it. This Superman looks like maybe he could handle that correctly. I don't know if some of the other ones could have how they would have worked that out. But
Put your Justice League on TV1.
The Justice League.
You know what? It would actually be the Just Us League. That's how that would come out. That's how that would play out. Okay, that sounds great. You know what? That's a plan. We're gonna do a fan cast it, and we will drop the parameters for who we're gonna put in the future Justice League movie, because I cannot stop every time I think about that. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, but see now it's like if Lex goes to Del Rev, right? But see, like, look, they got the Hall of Justice, and Lex just went to Bel Rev, then it's very likely that he's going to meet some other villains while he's in there. Now we got a Legion of Doom. We got the Hall of Justice. We getting Super Friends. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming. So remember I said that tonight. We're not even getting Justice League. We getting Super Friends. And I think that would be dope because then you don't have to be tied in with Justice League and trying to compare. You could do something completely different. But that's me going off the rails as I tend to do. I want to thank y'all for joining us tonight while we got to talk about some Superman. I want to thank my panel, my guests who were here with me. We had Jeffrey, Brandy, Teresa, RG, and of course, I'm LD Geek Sam. Make sure to click that QR code right there with Brandy where you can find us everywhere we are. We are Grown A Geeks, and we appreciate that you stayed here and watched us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But for the Grown A Geeks panel, RG, Teresa, Brandy, Jeff, I'm Sam, and we are out of here. Peace.